I love the singing part. I've always done that since I was very young. I was in choirs and sort of singing Sinatra tribute concerts at school and all sorts of things like that. But so I love the singing part and the access to that. But the guitar was a huge challenge for me because I barely picked one up before about 3 months before this film, and I had a wonderful teacher actually here in Los Angeles, and who I saw like 4 or 5 times a week, and he just gave me these exercises to repeat over and over and over and over again to try and make it look somewhat authentic, that he would be vaguely good. But I did have a lot of help. There's dubbing and all sorts of help, but it was nice because you don't, after you're sort of 30, you don't think, oh, I'm going to try and learn how to do this now.
I know.
You just don't want to pick up new skills. So it was really nice to have that focus and that motivation.
Yeah, I thankfully only had to play a little bit of guitar, but I was just saying my husband's a singer-songwriter, and so he gave me some exercises to do over and over and over again, and it was actually really fun. I felt like, I don't know, I almost thought like, well, maybe I'll start a new career, and I'll be like, I want to kind of go in the Jewel direction, you know, singer, songwriter, poet. That'd be cool.
That's cool. What can you tell us about these two characters? Who are they? How do their roads cross? And what happens when that happens?
Well, I think my character, the Ryan character, is a train-hopping street musician. So he's a sort of very a simple living, unbeknownst to him. He's sort of quite profound, but in a sort of very unconscious way, and he's sort of just drifting through his life essentially, and you know, and seeing what challenges he has to overcome, and just seeing what lands in his path, and he's sort of very accepting. And I think that your character's sort of somewhat the opposite of that, and so when their paths collide, it sort of makes for an interesting.
I think she's, you know, when she first meets him, she's in a really dire situation in her life. She was, you know, a singer-songwriter who had a record deal and high hopes, and it didn't work out, and the record didn't sell, and her marriage is falling apart, and she's got an 8-year-old daughter and no money, and has to move back home to her little town in Ogden, Utah, and move back in with her mother. But she's determined to change the course of her life somehow, but doesn't have, she comes across this incredible guy who has this sort of innate faith that things are going to be okay, that they're going to work out. And that is such an inspiration to her that she can move without so much fear and anxiety into that next phase of her life.
I think that's what I like so much about the script, actually. There's a very simple imagery at the heart of it, which is, you know, a man sailing through his life and a woman almost sort of stuck in her own life, and the kind of arrow through that situation.
Yeah.